Matt Aguilar here from ComicBook.com, and today I have the pleasure of speaking to the amazing Power Rangers Cosmic Fury cast. How is everybody? I'll do individual introductions in a second, but it's so good to have you all in one place.
Woohoo!
Woo! Thanks for having us, Matt.
Oh man! So of course, we have Chance Perez, Russell Curry, Tessa Rao, Hunter Dino, and of course the amazing Jordan Fight and Kai Moya. How are you guys?
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
I feel like this has been a long time coming. I've been very excited. Cosmic Fury dropped. We were all excited to talk about it. And of course, just because of current events at the time, we couldn't talk to you guys. And so it was a hell of a 30th anniversary. So starting kind of from there, looking back now, because it's been some time to look back at the series, you are one of the few casts who has been able to do 3 seasons of Power Rangers. What's your number one? What's your favorite moment from Cosmic Fury? Your own personal moment, and then also, how do you look at the season overall? What did it mean to you? Let's start with Russell.
Oh boy.
No pressure,
Yeah.
Right.
I have a few in mind, so I'm gonna cheat. But I think just the goodbye that Zato got to have with everybody, becoming a Morphin Master and like just wrapping everything up, coming back from sacrificing himself into the grid and coming back and saying bye again. Oh, it was great. And I think just as a big like Power Rangers fan and a nerd who grew up on Mighty Morphin, like the whole embodiment of Zordon was one of the most fun things. One of the coolest things I think I'll ever get to do in my acting career. So those are probably my top two.
Oh man, love it, Tessa.
Yeah, I've so many. I think honestly, probably the moment that Fern becomes Orange Ranger is just such an epic. The whole thing from like him with Solon and having all of that time, like, and then all of us responding to it, reacting to it. I think all of us on the day were like, "Ah," and you can read that in the show. So I always look back at that moment and go like, oh, it's so cool, and she kills it.
Hunter.
Huh. I don't know. I feel like I have a moment on camera and then a moment filming that I like. So obviously, when I become Red, I loved having that opportunity to have all of my peers around me for that big moment. But when it comes to actually filming a scene, I actually loved filming the scene that Amelia and Ion have together, the very heart to heart. I feel like we don't have a lot of slow moments in Cosmic Fury, and that was a time where we were able to really just like have the emotion, and I really appreciated that.
Kai.
My favorite part of the whole thing, well, I mean, the whole thing in general, because going across 3 seasons, I definitely think Cosmic was,
Sure.
to me, I don't know, I liked it the best. I had the most fun filming it as a whole, so that was really fun. I did like the whole evil thing. Everyone knows that. I think I think the coolest scenes were definitely like the cool scene with fighting with Amelia and things like that. That was all lots of fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Jordan.
Oh man, where do I start? I have to probably go with like what Hunter said. In Cosmic Fury, you seen Ion character change, like his demeanor and everything changed. Like Ion took more of a serious role, not serious, but from seasons 1 and 2, it was serious what he did in Cosmic Fury. So to see Ion's character change was like one of the most funnest things I probably ever did because in seasons 1 and 2, all he did was play a lot. So to see him be serious for once because he was losing his long lost friend and to just see that character change was like really big for me. It was very fun to do. So yeah, and I didn't have to eat as much food as in seasons 1 and 2. So that was also great.
Which you're so
Chance.
enthusiastic about at the beginning too. Yeah.
Most definitely.
I'd say one of my favorite scenes had to be the closing episode. I think
Yeah.
there's so many cool things about that one. Russell getting to play or embody Zordon, I thought was really cool. Seeing everyone happy on the side of the stage, like watching the last episode coming like full circle and growing as characters was amazing. And then also bonus, my wife and daughter got to be in the crowd, which was really cool for the last scene. And they have a little cameo in the show. So that had to have been my
So
favorite.
cute. I
Amazing.
actually
By the way,
second that.
congratulations on that as well.
Yeah, that's fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's that's got to be a special thing, and there was so much we touched on. There's a lot to talk about. I feel like one of the biggest things too, even before the show started or before the show aired, was that the suits were kind of these original creations. There was a lot of firsts in this series. What the suits look dope. What did you guys think when you first tried them on? What were the reactions after? How do you think they all turned out?
I thought they were great. I felt pretty comfortable. The material was pretty comfortable, I would say.
I did particularly like my red over my pink slightly more, just because for Dino Fury we had like 3 layers of one pieces, and for some reason with the red they decided to give me pants and a dress instead of like a one piece and a skirt over it, and going to the bathroom was just so much easier.
Love it.
Sorry everyone else, because it was just me and Jackie who had the pants and the dress, but
and those shoulder pads, the shoulder pads just felt so, you feel so strong and epic, and like like I just you own the space when you're wearing shoulder pads that big.
No, they were awesome. I don't care what anyone says, they were great.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
They were great. I don't really understand the hate sometimes. It was great.
Yeah, it was great. I love like when you put on a Cosmic Fury suit, it just makes you want to stand like a superhero. More of like
You're about to zoom off.
Like tight spandex.
And the colors too. I don't know if people noticed that, but it's just the color just looked, it shined a little pretty nice. So it was
I
great.
agree. Even our helmets had a different finish to them. They were like slightly matte, but also had like a iridescent shine to the color itself. It was great.
It was nice.
So detail, like I think you don't necessarily see, maybe you see it in the show, but I feel like when you're close up to it as well, you notice how much all the little moments on the helmets and the suit themselves, like so much and work went into creating those specific suits. And I don't know, I think you can, and I think we all agree, you can tell.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Sure.
Yeah. Also Zato rocking a cape.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Coming in with the cape as like the Ghost Ranger suit at the end of Dino Fury, I was like, oh, I could get used to this. And
then they gave you another one.
Yeah, we didn't move back. I was like, should I fly?
Man, as a huge fan of Mystic Force, I love capes. Like capes on Rangers just look awesome all the time. So yeah, big fan of the cape. It's good that they didn't let me design stuff, because like everyone would have a cape. Not everyone needs it. You know what I mean?
Maybe they should let you design it.
And one of the things too about this season is that it really embraced, the 30th anniversary vibe, right? So I mean, you guys are the first cast to be able to come back for 3 seasons, continuing story and all of those things. So it was fitting that you also had MMPR elements, right? We had Zordon reference, Zed, like all of those things that felt like kind of a closing of a book, if it might be, you know what I mean? Because obviously we don't know what the future holds. How does it kind of feel to be like the bookend of kind of an era? Because I mean, whatever happens with the franchise moving forward, this era is kind of closed by, it's open with MMPR, one of the most popular seasons ever, and it's closed with Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury. I mean, that's a hell of a accomplishment. It's a big deal.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I feel like I have to step in as the old guy who was around for all of it. No offense to anyone, but like
the old guy is crazy.
I think you're offending yourself, brother.
What?
Nothing. Just keep going.
I think it's such an honor to be able to be the end of an era that literally changed the world. Like you go anywhere in the entire world and you mention Power Rangers and people know that brand, what it means and know what it signifies. And to close that out, close sort of this version of it out is like, it's really surreal. Like I pinch myself all the time. I'm like, oh wait, we actually did that. So that's how I feel. It's great.
Very lucky.
Yourself, bro?
To be able to be like to have been able to jump in just at the end. I feel like very, very lucky. and then to come back again for a third one. I think we all kind of just stood around being like, this wasn't a given. Like, we all just got this massive privilege to be able to look around at each other and see each other again and be in this character again and tell this story a bit more. And yeah, a massive, massive privilege.
What she said.
Well, and too, it's a season that took some chances, right? Because I'm curious as to what you guys thought of when you first saw the scripts. Because I mean, if you would have described to me ahead of time, like, oh, by the way, a ranger loses an arm, a ranger turns bad and like continually fakes you out throughout the entire show, because like every time you thought it was going to turn good, it was like, nah, psych. There's some big swing. Obviously, a change from the kind of decision to, yes, bring Zato back, but bring Zato back in the way, with a timer essentially, and not just like, oh, we just retconned everything that happened. There's a lot of choices moving to a Red Ranger from a Peter, having a new leadership person in the role. So like, there's a lot of big swings that this season made. Any kind of big reactions to when you first saw the story for this?
Well, I guess I can remember that Zoom call that we all got on when Simon was telling us a little bit about our characters and just like little tidbits. But the big thing that he revealed for me was that I'd be losing an arm, and all of us were like, "Oh my God, that's crazy! Like, you're gonna get rid of his entire arm. It's wild." Yeah, they definitely took some big swings with it, and I'm really, really happy with the way the season turned out. They did a great job.
Yeah.
It also feels like there's some big swings and some like big choices, but they all honor things that people go through in real life. Like every single one of them has like mirrors at least a version of a story or an experience, if not like might have gone through something really, really similar. So even though for the story it might have felt big, I also think we all kind of went, oh, that's really important, or that's a really cool story to be able to tell. So it didn't maybe feel as crazy or as like much of a risk. It just felt like a really cool opportunity to delve into that kind of stuff at the time, maybe.
Yeah, it was a really nice opportunity to like sort of age the show up a little bit. I thought that was like really important to kind of go along the same journey of growing up with our fans from Dino Fury. And yeah, I think Simon and Becca and Alwyn, the entire writing team, they just put together some really incredible stuff. It was a really monumental task to like do this whole story that kind of touches on everything and wraps all the way up in 10 episodes. Like, my hat's off to them always for making such a great season. And I've watched it 3 times. I cry every time. I don't know about anyone else.
I feel like there was not a big difference, but it was, we had a Zoom call and we were like told all of these like each monumental things for our characters, and then I don't know how long was it until we got scripts. It was some time, so it was cool to see like how Simon portrayed what was happening, and then us getting the scripts and seeing how it's written out. I thought that was cool. It was like a nice touch to see all of the detail that actually goes into every little bit.
For sure.
And Jordan touched on it a little bit, and one of those kind of aspects, it was interesting to see that character stretched in different ways, and really out of like genuine concern, right? Because you just got someone back, and then to see that thing of like really kind of, yes, it has obviously a huge impact on Zato throughout the season. He's the one going through it, right? But it's family, and seeing someone that you care about and love kind of put into harm's way for the better good is one of those always interesting things when you're talking about heroes and things. It was awesome to see Ion stretch into that, but also get some of the fun,
of course,
cooking stuff. You gotta you just gotta do it. Was that fun to explore the season?
That was one of the trickiest moments of the whole entire series, was me trying to understand that what he was going through was something real, and me losing a friend and doing all those things. And I had to also understand is like, he's trying to save the world right now. Like, like Jordan, you can't be selfish, but at the same time be selfish. It's just like, I don't want to lose my best friend that I've known for millions of years, but also it's like he's putting his life on the line so we can all live, basically. So it's just like I had to find that balance. And of course, Ion had to understand at the end of at the end of the series that he had to go because he was a Morphin Master. He lost his life literally saving us. So once again, because he did it like what 13,000 times throughout the series, put his life on the line for us. So I just have to grow up. So that was like a surreal moment right there. Just having to realize and understand and have that balance. So that was one of the most trickiest things throughout the series. So
You pulled
You
it
did
off.
well,
and
brother.
Kai. Yeah. Well, and Kai, it was fun. It was fun seeing Ollie embrace the bad guy role. Embrace it. Well, because I feel like here's the thing. I feel like you did, because after the first time, it feels like, oh, he's being controlled, right? But then that like second, third fake out, it's like, no. He's just liking it at this point. He just doesn't want to be a good guy this time. How was that throughout the season? Was that something you were excited for when you first saw that was kind of the plan?
It was late actually. That wasn't supposed to happen. But I think everyone kind of was really happy that it did happen, because it was just another aspect to the show that I think made it more fun for not only the audience, myself, and I think the rest of the cast as well. It was just something different, something cool, It wasn't going to happen. Simon talked about this before. I never got to talk about it, but it was really, there was some commitment things and scheduling conflicts and holds and things like that. And we kind of I wasn't going to come back, actually. So I wasn't coming because it just wasn't going to work. And then last minute, I was like, I think it could happen. And then we kind of got the notification that it wasn't going to be as long this time. It was going to be like 2.5 months of work, I think, whatever it was. And I was like, I think it could work this time. And so I reached out to Simon and said, I think we're ready. Like, it's so short now. And at that point, we were like, it wasn't going to happen. So everyone was going to go to New Zealand and I wasn't coming. They already wrote it to the reason why he became evil was because Ollie was going to be suited up the whole season.
Gotcha.
So I think that's out there somewhere, but he was going to be suited up the whole time. And then it was shorter. So then I was able to come back, and that actually evil Ollie was not in the original plan. And then it just came about super late. And then I was like, whoa, that's kind of cool. And everyone's kind of like, funny how that worked out, because I think it worked out great.
And kind of
I can't imagine it without it.
Yeah.
Very good.
It works out.
Yeah.
It works out great. I'm
It
scared
was fun, yeah.
all the time now, actually.
He wasn't acting at all. Being himself.
Basically, I really just got to be myself. So, fake.
I really can't see the show without it. I think it just worked out so beautifully, because it was the way that Ollie was also. I mean, look, we've seen Rangers, turn before. We've seen bad guys in this very show in Dino Fury, right? We saw bad guys become good guys. Like, we've seen the transition a lot, but it's really hard to actually make a former Ranger actually feel like a genuine threat. And so I think this season, I think they did that really well. There's always just that little thing in the back of your head, like, it'll last for an episode. And then when it doesn't, it's just like, it makes you start believing. And then you're like, oh, wow, they're literally going to go the entire season and do this. So, kudos. I'm glad everything worked out. And on that same, on the opposite side. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I just shout out Hunter as well, because I think the storyline also opened up a space for her becoming leader, and then having to fight against the fact that the person that she loved is like being bad. How do I lead this while also wanting to save this person that I love? Like, all of that complicated stuff as well within that story, which wouldn't have been evil. Right. I also think just added so much to like her performance and the story in general, as well as performance itself. But like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think that just added so much complication and tension to the whole story, which wouldn't have been there. So yeah, meant to be.
No, I agree wholeheartedly.
Hello.
Well, and that's actually a perfect segue, Hunter, because the reaction when everyone learned that you were going to be Red, and you were going to not just be Red, but also be, you know, the leader of the group. That got such a big reaction from the fandom, such a positive one. And it was awesome to see the character really evolve in real time. Because you're, like Tessa said, like you're reacting to that. You're also reacting to having to now manage personalities, egos, all those things that come with that. And you're kind of learning on the job, because it's not like you had 6 months. You know, the character doesn't have 6 months to prepare, right? You guys just move into things. What was that whole experience like? I mean, you're part of 2 Ranger legacies now, you know, 2 very beloved ones.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, you know, I knew I had like big shoes to fill for, I feel like I actually had 3 shoes to fill. One of them being Red, and being like, or maybe 4. Red, first female, or no, sorry, that's another one. Red, and then also following Russell. That was like nerve-wracking to me because I just like couldn't imagine a better Red for us. So and leader. So that was like a little nerve-wracking to fill not only Red shoes, but Russell's shoes. And then I feel like there was a brand new shoe, considering I'm the first full-time female Red Ranger. So yeah, that was crazy. Didn't know I had 3 feet. But I feel, but I think I hopefully, you know, found my way. Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was exciting. I mean, like you said, I didn't even really think too much about the struggles that Amelia had to do on stepping into new shoes. And I mean, she just found out who her family was. She's becoming like leader Red. She is like losing her lover and all of this stuff. But thankfully, Amelia has like a strong head on her shoulders, so she was able to think like logically instead of like just with her heart, because Hunter probably would have ran straight for boyfriend. I don't know. So good for Amelia.
Well, and that's a perfect segue to, you know, Izzy, because a big part of the arc here is obviously, you know, shout out to, you know, Jacqueline, like such a great job. Fern, everyone was wanting to kind of see that and see the Orange Ranger and all that. So that's such a fun part of the season as well. And then also it's growing pains, right? The character's trying to figure out, how do I have someone that I love? How do I deal with them constantly being in danger? It's one thing for me to put myself in danger, but to watch someone else. What did you think of the arc this season? What was your kind of favorite part of that?
I loved it. It was so fun to play with. I think a lot of people can really relate to either being worried about or worrying about someone. Like you're either in one of the two or in both positions with different relationships. And it's really hard to like let somebody be their own person and also like try to make sure that they stay safe. And that is so interesting that, you know, Izzy's character, Izzy as a person, is going out and putting herself into dangerous situations and knowing that she can handle it, when it was just thrown on her out of surprise too. She wasn't like a trained fighter before. She just liked running track, you know? So I feel like to have it's kind of hypocrisy of like, I'm going to be okay, I can take care of myself, but you need to stay safe, is something that is very human, I think. So to play with that, and then to have that moment where I have to step back and go, oh, like, you're good, you've got this. I was worried because I love you and I care about you, and that's okay, but like, actually I need to let you be able to be your own autonomous human being. And also like, yeah, you can do it, look how cool you are in the suit and how much of a cool fighter you are. So yeah, very, very fun to play with.
And shout out
and
the one
go ahead.
From our group.
She wishes she could be here.
Oh no, absolutely. We gotta give props to Fern. Jacqueline was amazing. It was such a great addition to the show.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Chance, you know, one of the things, you know, it's one of those, like, of course the new arm is a visual change, and it's like, oh hey, that's like, oh, he's got a cool powerful arm. But I like that the season actually you know, took time to explore like what does that actually look like? Like, what is the trials of, number one, it's just like having an injury that significant anyway, but then also learning how to do your job essentially with this, yes, very powerful thing, but also like, oh my God, like what the hell? I'm supposed to just like, command this thing. Like, was that fun for you to explore?
Yeah, it was definitely fun to explore. I remember after we got off of that call, thinking about like, there are people who go through that kind of situation, whether it's, hand, arm, leg, something like that. So I felt this responsibility to do as much research as I could for people who have been in those situations and kind of how to portray that on camera. And, we had some great directors on. Michael Hurst was there the day that scene happened where Javi lost his arm and was kind of walking me through it. And we wanted to touch on how serious of a thing that is, but also how to grow from it and keep going. Like it's not that you can keep going basically and learn how to adapt. And I think that was really important for Javi's character and also an important message for a lot of people out there too. So I'm really happy with the people that we worked with and how that storyline played out. And the fact that at the end of it, Javi was like in full control of that and was able to like just like whack people 20 feet into the air was pretty awesome. Yeah, it was really great.
Yeah, and you just look cooler with the guitar, right? I mean,
oh yeah, of course.
Well, and that brings that to that final moment. I feel like it ends in the most Cosmic Fury way possible. It's fantastic. Because only, I feel like only someone who's watched Dino Fury and been along for that ride really like grasps how like perfect that is. Obviously, you have the whole group together. You've got Billy there, which we'll touch on in a second. But then you have Zato just looking from the super cool place in the sky he gets to look down on things from. And the Coolio line, was that something that was like always in the script? What did you think of how that moment came to be?
It was written that way from the first that we got. I remember just like in the hotel room in New Zealand reading that, and like I was already, I think all of us cried like reading the script, but I was already
absolutely
like, then I read cool, I'm like, I set the script down and I just like sat there for a second, just like take it all in. You know what I mean? Like it's just like such a beautiful, amazing crescendo of a moment for our series and for our cast. And then I just like I get this opportunity to like have this lighthearted moment to let everybody know everything's gonna be okay. And to use this
don't make me cry now.
And use this line that Ollie tricked me into using and taking advantage of my naivete as an alien. So what an honor too, talking about like the series. We ended it not just in like a Power Ranger way, but in like a Dino Fury, Cosmic Fury way too. And I thought that was an incredible gift we got.
Yeah, for sure. And it was a perfect send off. And then of course, we touched on it a little bit earlier about the MMPR elements. And, one of the biggest is, David Yost being a part of the series, being really in the mix too, and not just like a one-off, appearance, but being all throughout the series. He had nothing but, glowing things to say about you guys, working with you guys. But what was that experience like, especially because you fit in a Zordon moment and you really like play to that,
Oh gosh. Can I just say one more old guy thing and then I'll stop for a second.
Never stop saying.
I'm the old guy here. Don't take my one role.
I mean, like when I'm with this group, I'm like, I feel like the old guy, but also somehow really.
I'm not far behind you.
That's fair.
Also,
wait, no, you are.
Number. You're all aging like fine wine.
Thank you so much.
Fine.
Anyways, the amount of like my friends, my family, like we're from that era that grew up when Mighty Morphin Power Rangers like hit the world, and the amount of texts I got from my high school friends, my elementary school friends, like my college friends, family of like You got to play Zordon. You got to hang out with David Yost every day on set. I'm like, 6-year-old me is like freaking out every single. It's crazy. So I just, who gets to do that? Who gets to have such an honor? Like already being a Power Ranger and getting to step into that dream, that childhood dream is nuts. But then getting this 30th season, ending this whole chapter and doing it alongside a freaking legend was like, man, who write, like someone's writing my story of my life, and it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's great.
And also having, like, I think us all being at the beginning of this journey, like it's still pretty new. I don't know if I can say this for everyone, but for me at least, it still feels pretty new and like surreal in moments. Like, oh yeah, that's right. This is like my life now. This involves this thing that is always going to be the case. And so to have someone who like was a part of the start of it all, and he holds such a like gravitas and like confidence and calm to himself that he kind of walks around with, that I think, I don't know, it just seemed to really ground us and bring us back to like the root of where it all started and where it came from, and hearing stories about the show and seeing him as Billy. Like, yeah, it was so surreal, but felt very full circle. It is very full circle, but it felt very full circle even as the newbie. Yeah.
He brought really good energy to set too. He was always so fun, and I feel like every now and then he would just be like, and his phone would be recording like behind the scenes over there, and you have no idea for how long it was recording, but he would just like put it down and he would just like walk off, but just like keep it going, and then all like 5 minutes later he'd be like, and we'd be like, oh.
That's why he has so much behind the scenes stuff on his Insta.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
So ridiculously funny. I don't know if people like actually understand. I had no idea. Like,
I was so scared. I was so nervous.
Yeah,
I was too.
I think we all were, right? And then he just slowly just got funnier and funnier and sillier and sillier. We're like, oh my god, this is actually David. Yes.
Literally, when we seen him like start doing like, because we joke around and stuff, in between, takes and stuff like that. And when we seen him start picking up on our jokes and stuff, like it just made everything else like good. It made everything else amazing. So,
yeah, you've made it into the legendary inside joke canon. I understand. Yeah, absolutely. I know I gotta let you guys go, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate the time. Such a huge fan of you guys as a cast, and also your seasons. Looking forward, we don't really know what's happening next. We're kind of it was such a landmark year, and then now we're just kind of like waiting to see what happens next with the franchise and with the series and everything. So, what do you guys want to see happen for the franchise? Do you like want more original seasons, kind of, like you guys did? Do you want, something aimed at an older demographic, younger demographic? What do you personally want to see for the franchise in the future? Let's start with Hunter.
Great question.
That is a good question. I actually I feel like I've been asked this question like at cons meeting fans and stuff, and I honestly feel like if they are done with the kids show, or if they're moving forward from whatever our season was, I think what they should do personally is take, like, Ranger fans are gonna hate me for saying this because it's whatever, but take like 3 to 5 years and like really think about it. Really think hard about the revamp. And because I mean, the show is so legendary, being around for 30 years. To change anything is going to take some time. One, getting used to, and two, just making sure that it's as legendary as the previous 30 years. So like, to me, whatever it may be, whether it's a new kids version, a young adult series, whether they try to make it into like their whole little universe of movies after this, I think they should just take their time on it.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I think that's a very good take and very logical.
Sorry for like telling the fans that I think you should wait longer, but
I think it was so bang on. And also to add on from that, I think like it's been so full steam ahead for so long. Like if it's been go, make more, which has been great. Like they've been amazing.
Go.
But I think Like, you're so right.
that.
Take a bit of time and really reflect. Okay, what do we love about this? What can we change about this? How do we make this better?
Right.
Like, what can we do better? There's nothing wrong with. There's
Like-
nothing wrong with the previous things. Just like
Right. Keep the same fandom
Yeah.
and the feel, but just elevate it.
But honestly, anything I forgot to say this earlier, so I'm just going to shout it out now. Anything that has disguises and rock bands, I think should come back, because that was also one of my favorite moments.
Oh my God, that's a
All
great
that were
episode.
sweating underneath those costumes. So I think even though it was hard yards, it was worth it, and I think they should bring things like that back.
Those looks were awesome. Those are amazing.
Layered.
Russell?
I think that, a lot of fans from like my age group, right? I talk to them about Power Rangers and they'll say, "Oh, they rebooted it." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I was on Power Rangers, it's on Netflix." "Oh, when did they bring Power Rangers back?" And I'm like, they never stopped making the show.
Yeah, they never left.
I think the thing that I would love is I don't think that Power Rangers has sustained the same amount of it hasn't sustained the same amount of respect that it deserves. Like, I think it hit the world. It was $1 billion franchise in the 90s, which I still want to do an inflation calculator on. That's crazy. And everybody knows, when they think Power Rangers, I think the majority of people think Mighty Morphin, right? And I think that we deserve, as a fandom, as a world, as Rangers, to have like that level of impact and respect and success in this franchise. So connection. Like, I think it's something that everybody knows worldwide, but I don't think people understand the depth of it. And I think if we,
and how much good it brings, like how much I've got to be open. I was one of those people. Like, I didn't grow up with it that much. I thought it was cool. I didn't take it anywhere near as seriously as soon as I realized, oh my gosh, so many, all of these years, so many important things get taught to these kids, and also like just get reinforced to us as adults that watch it as well, and like a reminder that we're good as who we are, and we can be who we want to be, and we can like be a good person, all these so many different things. I didn't know that because I didn't realize that's what it was, and I wish I could have known that before I was a part of it.
But now we are.
Chance?
Gosh, I don't know. So many great things have been said already, I definitely think that, maybe some time should be taken, like Hunter suggested. That's great. I think if they do decide to bring it back, then I personally would like to see a little bit more of a mature side to it, a little bit darker, like something that Time Force did really well. They had a lot of dark elements that I think played to the adult audience, which even as a kid when I was watching it, like I could feel that, and I thought that was like really interesting and intrigued me about it. So I think some more like dark elements like that, and maybe even like if some of these Rangers were like in their 30s and stuff, and they have kids, and like they have to,
that would be cute,
get a babysitter while they go to fight crime, and they come back, and I don't know, like stuff like that. I think like those older, like some like more like mature themes like that would be cool.
No, yeah, for sure. As someone with a kid who, won't be a Ranger anytime soon. But yes, I support that wholeheartedly. Jordan?
Oh man, I don't want to sound like I'm just repeating what my other castmates have said, but literally to see it in the older, just seeing it age up, like Chance said, the darker side, that'd be amazing for the franchise, because I've seen like different people come around me saying like, "Oh yeah, Power Rangers still around." I'm like, yeah. That was like, so what is like the audience? What are you guys' ages range? And I'm just like, well, it was like 6 to 12, and I think now it's like 6 to 13, 14. I don't know. It's just like I feel like
I think we've got bumped up to 9 for Cosmic. Sorry, I think we did.
Okay. So
anyways, continue.
Maybe like on the next series, and as it progressed, we go up to 10, 11, 12, so I feel like the series to me, anything that is more adulty, like it brings in a larger crowd, of course, the larger the age range is. So I feel like the more stuff like how it was in Cosmic Fury, and you just grow and grow and grow in that aspect of things, as far as like character development and stuff like that. Like Javi losing his arm and different stuff like that. So I feel like the more darker stuff like that, it'll bring more of a crowd and more people into the show. So yeah, and have some blood scenes, man. We need some blood. We fight.
Some real, yeah.
We need some blood.
Punching the face, punches.
Literally.
He was holding out for that part. He just wanted to drop the blood part, which I respect. I respect Jorge. Kai?
Oh man, I don't know. Like, it's hard to say things about what the whole franchise should do because I don't know. What are they gonna do? I don't know. As far as us, I feel like I can only talk about our little part that we had in the whole thing. And I mean, if we could go on and do more, yeah, that'd be awesome to see even more development and what everyone said already. But as far as the franchise as a whole, yeah, perhaps take some time off and figure out what they want to do. Who knows? I'm sure they have something up their sleeve that we don't know about. So
For sure.
we'll just all have to wait back and see.
And let's keep this diversity and representation going. Let's maybe give even
Yes.
maybe some even more honest representation.
Thankfully, that seems like that's what all Power Rangers is about. So that's like one thing that they probably won't lose. Hopefully, knock on wood.
And by the way, to
keep that part the same and do even more.
to Kai's point, if they do want to do another season or something else with this group, you all in?
Oh, I have ideas. You don't have to.
I have ideas too.
Hello. Hello.
Kai's got scripts.
There's idea. I got scripts in the back of my head right now.
Oh, so many ideas.
It would be
Amazing.
fun.
I mean, y'all have fun. I'm gone, so whatever. I'm kidding.
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me? Have you learned
No.
anything from TV and movies these days? You're never gone.
Yeah,
It's true.
literally, if anything has been proven correct, you cannot
never
be gone.
gone.
You can never be away from us. Okay, you are embedded in this family, and if one of us comes back, we all come back. Okay.
Ollie still has a little inkling of evil, and he's gonna come and get you, and we're gonna
Good
do
again.
some stuff.
Spice some things up.
That's what you think.
Maybe
Oh my
Amelia
God.
will turn evil with Ollie, so that she.
No, but then that'd be too OP. No one's gonna beat us, Hunter.
And you have to call on Zato to fix it.
No one's gonna beat us.
Two OPs.
I love how you're back. Also, Nalu, like I'm like,
What?
Yeah.
is he evil? Is he evil Ollie right now? Like, what's happening?
That's what I'm saying. You should have
Are
seen the
all of us
cutscene
evil?
that wasn't released. You should have seen the cutscene that wasn't released, guys.
Oh my god, maybe we all come back and we're the Ranger team that's evil. It's like the Ranger team and the Ranger team.
Except for Ollie.
And then Ollie's on the good guys' side.
And I'm just like,
That
What?
one.
So clearly, we have a lot of ideas.
There's
My
ideas.
idea,
There's
if anybody
ideas on
uses
point.
it, we came up with it first. Okay, this is my signature, signed, sealed, and delivered.
Amazing, guys. Well, this is always a joy. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your crazy days to do this, and can't wait to see what's next for all of you in your individual careers. You guys are killing it. So until next time we get to talk, thank you so much, and congrats on a great season.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
for
Thank you
having
very
us.
much.
We all love talking to you too, Matthew. So
Of
Yes.
course, man.